Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naranjaiva Narottamam
Naranjayvanaratam.
Devin Saraswatin Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavate Uttamasloke
Bhagavate Uttamasloke.
Bhaktin Bhavadir Naistiti
Bhaktin Bhavati Naistiti.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha.
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nandagopa Kumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, text number 19. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is The Process of Creation. 2-4-19. Please repeat the sloga behind me. Sa ye sa ātmātmavatām adhīśvaras.
ātmātmavatām.
Trayīmayo dharmamayas tapomayaḥ.
Trayīmayo tapomayaḥ.
Gata-vyalīkair aja-śaṅkarādibhir.
Gata-vyalīkair aja-śaṅkarādibhir.
Vitarkya-liṅgo bhagavān prasīdatām.
Vitarkya-liṅgo bhagavān prasīdatām.
Word by word meaning, please repeat behind me. Saha,
Saha,
he,
he,
isaha,
eshaha,
it is.
it is.
Atma,
Atma,
the Supersoul.
the Supersoul.
Ātmātmavatām,
Ātmātmavatām,
of the self-realized souls.
of the self-realized souls.
adhīśvaras,
adhīśvaras,
the Supreme Lord.
the Supreme Lord.
trayīmayo,
Trayīmayo,
personified Vedas.
personified Vedas.
dharmamayas,
Dharmamayas,
personified religious scripture.
personified religious scripture.
tapomayaḥ,
Tapomayaḥ,
personified austerity.
personified austerity.
gata-vyalīkair,
Gata-vyalīkair,
by those
by those
who are above all pretensions.
who are above all pretensions.
Aja,
Aja,
Brahmaji,
Brahmaji,
ātmātmavatām,
āja-śaṅkarādibhir,
by Lord Shiva and others.
by Lord Shiva and others.
vitarkya-liṅgo,
Vitarkya-liṅgo,
one who is observed
one who is observed
with awe and veneration.
with awe and veneration.
bhagavān,
Bhagavān,
the personality of Godhead.
the personality of Godhead.
prasīdatām,
prasīdatām,
by kind toward me. Be
Be-
kind toward me.
be kind toward me.
Translation and purport by Jivengri Sabhay Charnavande A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
This will approve God.
Translation, please repeat behind me. He is the super soul
He is the super soul
and the supreme Lord
and the supreme Lord
of all self-realized souls.
of all self-realized souls.
He is the personification of the Vedas,
He is the personification of the Vedas,
religious scriptures,
religious scriptures,
and austerities.
and austerities.
He is worshipped by
He is worshipped by
Lord Brahma
Lord Brahma
and Śiva
and Shiva
and all those
and all those
who are transcendental to
who are transcendental to
all pretensions.
all pretensions,
Being so revered
being so revered
with awe and veneration,
with awe and veneration.
May that Supreme Absolute be
May the Supreme Absolute be
pleased with me.
pleased with me.
Purport. The Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead, although the Lord of all the followers of different paths of self-realization, is knowable only by those who are above all pretensions. Everyone is searching for eternal peace or eternal life. And with an aim to this destination, everyone is either studying the Vedic scriptures or other religious scriptures or undergoing severe austerity as empiric philosophers, as mystic yogis, or as unalloyed devotees, etc. But the Supreme Lord is perfectly realized only by the devotees because they are above all pretensions. Those who are on the path of self-realization are generally classified as karmis, jnanis, yogis, or devotees of the Lord. The karmis, who are much attracted by the fruitive activities of the Vedic rituals, are called bhukti-kāmī, or those who desire material enjoyment. The jnanis, who try to become one with the Supreme by mental speculation, are called mukti-kāmī, or those who desire liberation from material existence. The mystic yogi, who practice different types of austerities for attainment of 8 kind of material perfection, and who ultimately meet the supreme supersoul Paramatma in trance, are called siddhi-kāmī, or those who desire the perfection of being finer than the finest, becoming heavier than the heaviest, getting everything desired, having control over everyone, creating everything like etc. All these are abilities of a powerful yogi. But the devotees of the Lord do not want anything like that for self-satisfaction. They want only to serve the Lord because the Lord is great, and as living entities, they are eternally subordinate part and parcel of the Lord. This perfect realization of the self of the devotee help him to become desireless, to desire nothing for his personal self, and thus the devotee are called nishkami, without any desire. A living entity, by his constitutional position, cannot be void of all desires. The bhukti-kāmī, mukti-kāmī, siddhi-kāmī, and all desires something for personal satisfaction. But the nishkami devotee of the Lord desire everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. They are completely dependent on the orders of the Lord and are always ready to discharge their duty for the satisfaction of the Lord. In the beginning, Arjuna placed himself as one of those who desire self-satisfaction, for he desired not to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. But to make him desireless, the Lord preached the Bhagavad Gita, in which the ways of karma yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, and also bhakti yoga were explained. Because Arjuna was without any pretensions, he changed his decision and satisfied the Lord by agreeing to fight. Karishye vadanam tava, vasanam tava, and thus he became desireless. The examples of Brahma and Lord Shiva are specifically cited here because Brahma ji, Lord Shiva, Srimati Lakshmi ji, and the 4 Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, etc., are leaders of the 4 desireless Vaisnava Sampradayas. They are all freed from all pretensions. Srila Jiva Goswami interprets the word gata-vyalīkair as prayojihata kaitavahi, or those who are freed from all pretensions, the unalloyed devotees only. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.149, it is said, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Asanta Mukti Mukti Siddhi-kāmī Sakala Asanta. Those who are after fruitive results for their pious activities, those who desire salvation and identify with the Supreme, and those who desire material perfections of material mystic power, are all restless because they want something for themselves. But the devotee is completely peaceful because he has no demand for himself and is always ready to serve the desire of the Lord. The conclusion is therefore that the Lord is for everyone because no one can achieve that result of his respective desires without his sanction. But as stated by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 8.9, all such results are awarded by him only. For the Lord is adhīśvara, the original controller of everyone, namely the Vedantist, the great Karmakandis, the great religious leaders, the great performers of austerity, and all who are striving for spiritual advancement. But ultimately, he is realized by the pretensionless devotee only. Therefore, the special stress is given to the devotional service of the Lord by Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnanāñjana-śalākaya Chakshulmulidam-yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavad Pashasha Desha Tarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So through this sloka, again, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, again he was glorifying the Lord. He is going to start to explain about how the world, the creation has happened. The process of creation is going to explain. So before the explanation, he is glorifying the Lord because everything the creation is created by the Lord. So first of all, we need to give the obeisances. And since the creation, it is not inconceivable for us. We cannot imagine how big it is and how we cannot imagine that how it is created, all those activities. So it is inconceivable for the normal human being. So even for the demigods also. So that is the reason he is glorifying the Lord in such an extent. So he is saying that he is the super soul and the supreme Lord of all the self-realized souls. So the self-realization, the person who is in the path of self-realization, they will definitely worship the Supreme Lord, because self-realization in the sense is a kind of God realization. Self-realization is not only understanding self. Okay, I am the Atma. So that is the self. But the path of self-realization, we will also understand that there is Paramatma who is also there along with this. So in the path of self-realization, we are getting to the God realization also. And in the Paramatma, then we are getting into the Paramatma, who is Paramatma. Then we are getting to the details of Paramatma, who is Paramatma, who is the Supreme Lord, who is the demigods, what is the difference between them, what are the activities Paramatma is doing. All those things, it will be revealed when we are getting into the path of self-realization. We are also in the path of self-realization through Bhakti Yoga. Whatever the activities we are doing, it is called Bhakti Yoga. We are not whimsically, we are following the other system, other yoga system, karma yoga, hatha yoga, all the other systems. Other systems are also, we can achieve the same result, but the path is very difficult. That's what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. All the other, when Arjuna was denied to fight, that time Krishna started explaining in Bhagavad Gita all the yoga systems. And finally, he was explaining the Bhakti Yoga also. Because Arjuna himself, he was saying, before explaining the Bhagavad Gita, he was saying that, Krishna, I was not able, I can control the wind, I cannot control my mind. So it is the yoga system and all, controlling the mind, it is not, those things are all not possible for me. So tell me some easy way. That's what Arjuna was begging to Krishna. So similar, that's the reason Krishna was giving this Bhakti Yoga knowledge to Arjuna. So because the Bhakti Yoga knowledge, here also we need to concentrate on the mind, but we need to concentrate on the mantra. So all the other yogas, if you see, there are some self-motivation will be there. Self-motivation, also the selfishness will be there. Something they want to achieve for themselves. But only in the Bhakti Yoga, the selfless, desireless will be there. All the other yogas, some amount of desires will be there. Only in the Bhakti Yoga, the desire, there is no desire for the personal desire won't be there. All the desires will be for the serve the Lord. So that is the quality of Bhakti Yoga. That is the why Bhakti Yoga is the topmost for topmost in all the yoga systems. And also, so he is the personification of Vedas. Also, he is glorifying that Lord is the personification of the Vedas. But the Karmakandis, so who are very much interested on this material world, those people who wanted to live very happily in this material world. So in order to satisfy their senses, they want to live happily, they wanted to live without any diseases, they wanted to have so much of wealth, and they want to enjoy everything. So for that, the people, they will worship the Lord, they will study the Vedas and chant the mantras, those activities, and they will do the yajnas by as specified in the Vedas. So those people we are calling them as the karmakandis, because all the Vedas, it is final conclusion of the Vedas is to know the Supreme Lord. Even Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita in 15.15 verse, I am the knower of from all the Vedas. I am the knower from all the Vedas, and I am to be known. So I am because by reading, by understanding, by studying the Vedas, what we can understand, we can know we know Krishna there. But the karmakandis, they are we are stuck with only the dharma, artha, kama. They are not going beyond that. So their mentality, it is only stuck with these three things: dharma, artha, kama. They are religious, and artha means they want to have the wealth, and kama, they want to have the sense gratifications. So before this only, they are worshipping, they are ready studying the Vedic scriptures. So because for them, the mentality, their way of approaching the Vedas is in such a way that they cannot understand beyond, because what is told in the Vedas in the behind the scene. Because Vedas, in the sense, way, the word way, it is in the Sanskrit, the word way in the sense, it is hidden. So because it is, but the way is that we are telling is the hidden, that means behind something is there. So that is the reason the Vedas, it is like it's compared with suppose if you want to give some medicine to the child. So the child, what we are doing, the medicine may be very small, the tablet may be very small. We are folding with some chocolate or some, if you are giving some Ayurvedic medicine or natural medicine, they are mixed with some sweetness. And also whatever even for the allopathic medicine also, they are adding the flavors, the mango flavor and pineapple flavor, kind of flavor they will add, and they will give it to the kid. For elders, it is not necessary, because elders, they know that the medicine will be always, it is a bitter in taste. So the elders will understand, they will take the medicine because they want to rectify. But the children's, they know that they are suffered, but they don't want to eat the bitter taste. So that is the reason we are mixing the sweet and we are giving to the child. The similar way, the karmakandis, they know that they wanted to only enjoy. They don't want to understand who is behind the scene, who is the Supreme Soul. They don't want to understand anything. They want, I'm living in this material world. I need to live happily. I want to enjoy everything. I want to get everything. That is the only thing, their mentality. So that is the reason they are not going behind the scene. What is that? But in the Vedas, how the medicine is covered with the sweet and it is given to the child, the similar way, the Vedas, about the Supreme Lord knowledge, supreme knowledge, it is given hiddenly, and it is given covered with all these kind of rituals mentioned with the karmakandis. Because at least the karmakandis, they do not go into the deviated from the path of self-realization. They will at least get into the path. So for that reason, Lord gave this Vedas to the karmakandi people. Because otherwise, what will happen if Lord not given this procedure? What they will do? They will get into the path of wasting their life. Or how they will get into the all the abominable activities, they will be in the sense gratification only, and also the sense gratification without meaningless, without endless, they will do without following any rules and regulations. It will become a chaos. So in order to make them in a specific order, Lord prepared this Vedas and gave it to those karmakandis. So karmakandis is more or less they are in their sense gratification only. Next, they are called bhukti-kāmis. They are called bhukti-kāmīs. And the next category is mukti-kāmīs. Mukti-kāmī means they wanted to go in, get into the mukti. They want to get into the mukti only. So we can call them as the they are following this severe austerities. They will follow the severe austerities. The impersonalist people, they want to get only the mukti. They don't want to satisfy the Lord. They want for them, they wanted to have the mukti. But there is a selfishness is there, because they wanted to go there and they want to be, for the impersonalists, they want to go to the Brahma Jyotir, they want to be calm over there. Calmly, they want to be there and Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Like that, they want to be there. And although for the person who was following the severe austerities, those people also, they also wanted to, the austerities they will follow, they wanted to keep their mind and body only in the healthy way. But there is also selfishness is there. They won't think about serve the Lord. So that is the reason they are calling us mukti-kāmīs. Their aim is to get in mukti, but they are also, in that also the selfishness is there. That's why they are called mukti-kāmīs. And the third category is siddhi-kāmīs. Siddhi-kāmīs means they will practice some siddhis, like lighter than the light, so that they can walk on the water, and heavier than the heaviest. They will become heavy, and they will vanish from the one place to another place. They will travel one place to another place without any vehicles. So these are all some aja-śaṅkarādibhir are there. So they will practice with the severe austerities. They will practice this aja-śaṅkarādibhir. So again, see all these aja-śaṅkarādibhir. So they will practice for themselves. For their satisfaction. It is not for the Lord's satisfaction. So already we discussed the same thing, that Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, one day he was in his way to his ashram in Navadip, and he wanted to cross the Ganga. So that time he was coming to near to the Ganges bank of the river, and that time one of the boatmen, they are sitting, and his disciples also coming over there, and he was showing one of the person who is standing there, and there are very big crowd. So Maharaj was asking why there is a big crowd. Then the disciple went and see, and he saw that there is a person who is going to walk on the water. So then he came and told that one of the person is going to walk on the water from here to this bank to that bank without any other means. He'll walk on the water without drowning in the water. So by hearing this, he wanted to, our Maharaj also, he wanted to see that person. Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj also wanted to see that person. Then he called that person, he spoke with that person. So he said, how much time you spend to practice this? That is also one of the siddhi, because you make our body lighter than the light, so that they can walk on the water. So he told, 30 years I spent, and I can walk on the water without drowning. On top of the water, I can walk without any other means. So all the other people are stuck in wonder, and they are seeing that how come it is possible. So yes, all the others, this is a kind of a wonder. But for that person, he practiced 30 years, so he was able to do. But in the face of the Bhakti Yoga point of view, Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Bhakti Yoga point of view, when he saw the same incident, and he was telling that person, he asked the boatman, how much you will charge from this bank to that bank? Then the boatman told 10 paisa during that time. So then he called that person, whatever you wasted 30 years, it is just worth for 10 paisa only. So guess 10 paisa, I can go from this bank to other bank, but you spend 30 years with a boat, I can go, because my aim is from here to there, I need to go, that's all. But what you spend 30 years, the same thing from this bank to that bank, without the boat you wanted to go, but for that you spend 30 years of life, but the worth is only 10 paisa for that. So that is the point of view of the Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga means we don't want to do all these activities like mystic activities. So it is not going to satisfy anyone, because we are not satisfied, and also we cannot satisfy the Lord also by doing all this siddhis. So that is the reason they are called siddhi-kāmīs. So there, for them also, they want to have the proud. Okay, I practice this, I'm able to do this. So that is also, there is a selfishness in there. So that is the reason these bhukti-kāmīs, mukti-kāmīs, and siddhi-kāmīs, all the people, they have the selfishness is there with their activities. So that is the reason they cannot achieve the desired results also. What is the desired results? At the end of the life, we wanted to go back to Godhead. That is our destination. That is our goal of life. But all these bhukti-kāmīs, mukti-kāmīs, siddhi-kāmīs, they are thinking that we are also serving the Lord, but they are not serving the Lord. They are serving their senses. So that is the reason they cannot achieve in an easy way. Because all these siddhis, all these muktis, all these bhuktis, all this yoga, it is one of the stepping stone. That's one of the step to get into the path of perfection. But they will stuck in the step, that step only. But the bhakti yogi, since his bhakti yogi is desireless, he can step towards the Goloka Vrindavana, because he is desireless. His only aim is to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So that's the reason, because Lord is, we'll call the Lord as a Rishikesha, because he's the master of all the senses. So instead of satisfying our senses, we are supposed to satisfy the master of the senses, so that he will be bless us and he will take us back to home, back to Gaudiya. So that should be our aim. And also that is the devotees, they won't desire for that also, because in Chaitanya Charita, in the Shishashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that Ama Janmane, he was saying, even after birth, please give me this. I wanted to become your devotee. That is the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also worshipping, means he is also pleasing the Lord. He was asking the Lord that even after you are giving me birth after birth, just make me a devotee of yours. That is the way the mood of the devotees should be like that. We don't want to desire for Goloka Vrindavan also. We go back to home, back to Godhead also. It is not needed for us. We want, wherever we are, we need to do the service to the Lord. That is the only thing. Even we are going to hell, that is also no problem. There also we need to go and we can propagate we will make them who are there in the hell, we can make them as a devotee. So that is the benediction we are supposed to ask the Lord. So that is the way the devotee's mood will be always desireless mood. So in Mahabharata also, when Arjuna, initially he was selfishness. He was saying that, how can I be happy? How can my country will be? So all those selfish motivation, with the selfish point of view, he was speaking all the questions. But after the Lord explained about the karma yoga, jnana yoga, and hatha yoga, and bhakti yoga, finally, after hearing all those things, Karishe Vashanam Tava, he said, whatever you are saying, I will accept, I will do. Like that, he became ready to fight, and he became victorious. Because he heard and he followed the path of what Lord laid down. So that is the reason he became victorious. And because why he is become victorious, one thing, he followed the instruction of the Lord, and he was desireless. Desireless means Lord already instructed in this Bhagavad Gita, whatever the activities you are doing, give me the results. It may be a success, it may be a failure. Offer that result to me, so that you don't want to worry about that result. So he offered, Arjuna was offered this result, whatever the result is going to be after the war, he offered to the Lord. He was not worried about, I'm going to win or I'm going to win or I'm going to fail in this war. So he never worried about that, because Lord instructed in that way. So he was victorious. He was become victorious in that. So the similar way, and even here Brahmaji and he's talking about Prabhupada talking about the four sampradayas. The Rudra Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, and Kumar Sampradaya. All these four sampradayas, it is practicing. What is the practice? The major thing is to become desireless. That is the practice of desire. That's a Vaisnava. Vaisnava Sampradaya means, Vaisnava means it should be desireless. His only desire is to satisfy the Lord. That should be the only desire. So that is all the sampradayas are practicing the same desireless thing only. So if we are not willing to have any fruitive results, and if you follow the instructions of the Lord, and definitely we will achieve we can achieve we can become the devotee of the great devotee of the Lord. And we don't want to worry about whether we are going to Goloka Vrindavan or we are going to be a hell or we are going to remain over here. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking, we are in the mood of, we are following the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cult. So we are also in the same mood. We also wanted, like, we also need to keep our mind like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even after you are giving birth after birth, you are giving multiple births for me. Please make me as a devotee so that I can glorify you. I can chant your holy name of the Lord continuously. That should be our mood. Hare Krishna. Narendra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.